Nothing much happens in Nazareth, ever. It's only a small village in Galilee, and Galilee is a boring out-of-the-way place. There's a lake, some fishermen and a couple of small villages, but like I said, nothing to get excited about. It's the sort of place where news, any kind of news, travels fast, and good news is always welcome. A baby for my cousin Elizabeth was the best kind of news. At first we didn't believe it, because we knew she was too old to have a baby. We thought it was someone having a joke, an unkind one at that. But what happened next made Elizabeth's news seem easy to believe. It started out like any other day, except for the fact that I knew change was on the way. For me at least. I was excited because everything was settled. I was going to marry Joseph. Our families had come together and arranged everything. I was pleased. I liked Joseph. I'd known Joseph for as long as I can remember. Every time he would walk past his shop, there he was, making something beautiful out of wood. A plough or stall or some oars perhaps. Joseph was a good man. Everyone said so. He tried hard to keep God's laws. It was said that he could trace his family all the way back to the great King David. Imagine that, a king in his family. I suppose I was daydreaming when suddenly there it was, right in front of me. I was confused and frightened. I didn't realise quite what I was seeing. An angel. I'd never seen anything like it. But it was an angel. I just knew it. The angel said, "Don't be afraid, Mary. The Lord is with you." And that was the thing. God did seem very near. If I had closed my eyes and stretched out my hands, I felt as if I could have touched him. "God is very pleased with you," the angel said. Gabriel his name was. But that wasn't all that Gabriel said. There was the most impossible, unbelievable message. For me, from God himself. I was going to have a baby, a boy, but not after I got married to Joseph. But now, right now, I didn't understand it. It didn't seem to make sense. In fact, I said, how can this be? Gabriel said that God's power would make it happen. Joseph and I would look after the baby, but the baby would be God's own son. God himself would be his father. He said we were to call the baby Jesus, and he would be a great king, the greatest ever, and rescuer too for all people everywhere. Well, I must have looked like I didn't quite believe him, because then Gabriel said, "Remember that God is already working a miracle in your cousin Elizabeth's life, giving her a baby even though she is old. Remember this, Mary, nothing is impossible for God." Then I knew it was true. It would happen, and although I was frightened and amazed, I could feel this great happiness bubbling up inside me. And I said yes, yes to God's plans for my life, and a great big yes to God's plan for his world, sending Jesus as the rescuer.
And that's what happened. Just like the angel said, Mary did have a baby and we called him Jesus. The angel had also told me that the baby's name was to be Jesus. However, if it had been left up to me, the story might have ended differently. When I found out that Mary was going to have a baby, I couldn't believe it. We weren't married and I wasn't the baby's father. I changed my mind about marrying Mary. It seemed like the right thing to do. I didn't make a fuss about it. I thought there must be someone else that Mary should marry, the baby's father, whoever that was. Of course, I was angry and upset because I had thought that Mary loved me and now all our plans were spoilt. I didn't sleep well the night I found out. I tossed and turned in bed half the night and finally, exhausted, I slipped into a dream, an amazing dream. I saw an angel. There was no mistaking it, sent to me from God himself with a message, and there was no doubting this message either. "Joseph, son of David," the angel said, "do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because the child is given to you from God himself. He will be God's own son." So, that changed everything. When I woke up, I knew that, like Mary, I had been chosen as well. God wanted me to take care of Mary and the special baby. What a responsibility. I knew it would be all right because God would be with us to help us. In fact, I remembered something that I'd read in the synagogue out of God's holy book. something that the prophet Isaiah had said would happen. A young girl will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel. Yet another name for this baby. We were to call him Jesus, but he would also be Emmanuel. And names are important. They have meanings. Jesus means God saves, and Emmanuel means God with us. Jesus would be God with us all the time. What amazing good news for everyone. No wonder Mary and I were full of happiness and joy.